it, that's a big number. Big numbers, big numbers. 100-minute bag, that's a big number. Big numbers, blue hunts. Whole team counting, that's a big number.
Tell me what you want, what you need. Tell me what you wanna give. How much blood would you bleed? I'ma tell you I'm a misconceiver. I'm a believer. Someone better kick my fever. Tell me it's 100 degrees underneath my whole flesh. Everyone tells me it's a bit of a mess. Someone tell the risk I was never at the end. I would never get it off my chest though. I'm forgetful. Someone better tell me I was always on the edge. Overstay your bearings, I would never underestimate.
All right, Coach. EA Sports coverage of the National Football League is on the air. Nothing like the fanfare of game, and that was in evidence a moment ago. Fireworks, pyrotechnics, you name it. This crowd is ready as their guys get set to match up between the Detroit Lions and the Green Bay Packers. This is fielded a couple yards deep. And all that work, but he stopped where he ultimately would have been, and he's simply taken a knee, and that's the 25-yard line.
Ready. 54's Mike. 54's Mike. Check, check. Watch 54. Watch 54. Check the out. Check the out. Check the out. Ready, ready.
They'll run on first down. Noble. It'll go as a loss of a yard on the game's first play. Second down.
A'Shawn Robinson coming out of the University of Alabama. A big, physical, intimidating force who had to learn to play with more leverage. Otherwise, he was going to get blown off the ball in the NFL. Looks like he's learning his lessons after that play.
After the loss to start out, here's 2nd and 11.
Hey, team 6. Team 6.
From the gun, Kendall. Looking for his running back, and he's got him. It's an 8-yard pickup, and they're going to have a third down.
I like it, I like it, I like it. Get everyone involved in the passing game, and you know you can create those great mismatches throwing it to your guys out of the backfield.
And on the first drive, that can also help establish some rhythm, right?
I think so. It gets everyone involved. They feel like they're part of it, and really gets them amped up as they go forward.
Looking for Watkins, and it's intercepted. Picked off by the linebacker, Jarrad Davis. And his guys are going to get the football at the 37-yard line. Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. They'll run it now out of the gun. And tough sledding. He'll get maybe a yard. Stop short of the 35.
Well, we saw him there trying to get it to the outside, trying to get to the perimeter, but not a whole lot of room there. But there's got to be one positive to that. If you keep moving laterally, creases tend to develop as the game moves on, and they can run it back inside later.
And he will get this into the end zone. Touchdown, Green Bay. How about that? Their quarterback, 36 yards. As his guys are able to strike first here in this opening quarter. Zuerlein good with a PAT. And it's now a 7-0 game. Now after the touchdown, it's Zuerlein. He'll kick it away. That's fielded in the end zone. And he'll wind up about 4 yards shy of where he would have been. Be taking a knee as they'll start at the 21-yard line. Lions offense ready to kick off their next drive. They had the auspicious beginning to the season, a first drive turnover. Now they'll try again here, 1st and 10. And he's going to get a solid gain of 9 before being brought down. 2nd and right at a yard. The success there, Charles, coming on the outside of the field, the ground game. Curious to see if that continues as we progress.
Yeah, we often talk about a variety in play calling and usually between run and pass. But in this case, with strictly the run game, you can be creative there as well. Run it inside, run it outside, keep the defense off balance.
Looking to throw on 2nd down. Kendall flushed out right. And he's going to have to eat this one as down he goes. Derek Barnett able to maneuver in for the sack. On 3rd down, Kendall. He rifles one that's intercepted. Picked off near the 34. And they're going to be set up in the red zone right around the 17-yard line. That interception sets them up beautifully already in the red zone.
And you can hear it all the way up here. Oski, everyone turned to block, find a spot, and now they're set up inside the red zone for their offense.
Ready? Mike 51. Check Mike, check Mike.
On 1st down, Taliber able to fight for about 4 yards there to the 13.
When you find that kind of yardage, you couldn't be more confident as a ball carrier. And guess what? You're going to go back and tell your offensive coordinator, I'd like to keep carrying it, thank you.
This is caught. And he will get this into the end zone. Touchdown, Green Bay. From 13 yards out. And the Packers are able to stretch that lead out further. Zuerlein connects on the extra point, and that'll make the score 14-0. Now after the touchdown, it's Zuerlein. He'll kick it away. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And he'll bring it a few past the 20 to the 23-yard line. The Lions offense ready to kick off their next drive. Already down 2 touchdowns here in the first half. This becomes a pretty important drive, doesn't it?
It certainly does, and a lot of the teams script plays. We know that, right? They have a script to start the ball game, and typically those scripts go between 12 and 24, 25 plays. Down 2 touchdowns early, probably not very deep into their script. I think that they'll stay with it. I don't think they'll abandon it just yet and try and generate some offense on this drive.
Anything. At least 3 points, get that 0 off the board. Once again, they'll go from the 23-yard line on 2nd and 10. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down.
One thing that I liked about this guy during the draft process was his motor. Of course, I loved his skills, but he plays hard on every down.
And that motor on full display there as he gets his first NFL sack. After the sack, they'll come up now 3rd and long.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see them run the ball here just to try and get some space.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. And that'll be incomplete. Well, they took their shot all right, but it comes up empty, and it's 4th down. I know he wants to get his team back in the game, but a 50-50 ball right there that maybe was a little questionable.
Yeah, he's pretty lucky to get that one back. I think that sometimes these quarterbacks play with a lot of confidence that borders on arrogance, and that can put your team in some Dutch.
Yeah, especially maybe want to look at some safer routes after the interception he had that ended their last drive. Good starting field position for them as they come up 1st and 10 right at the 50-yard line. They'll run it here. This is Marlon Mack. He'll be taken down at the 48 for a pickup of 2 yards.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
Exit. Hey, Mike 51, Mike 51.
To throw on second down. Levine, he's letting this one go. And this is caught for a touchdown. Now hold everything here. Flag in the backfield. This one might be coming back. So retract the yardage and retract the touchdown.
And retract the chunk play. Big strike there to get the touchdown. Now they've got to take it back and see if they've got another one still in their arsenal.
They'll come up now on a second and long after the hold. Back to throw. Levine. Escaping the pressure right. That one complete to Okoye. 22 yards there, a first down. And the young buck showing that ability, that agility to dance outside of the pocket, complete the deep ball.
And don't think for a second that the coaching staff didn't have their heart rate accelerate a little bit there, right? Anytime you have those young quarterbacks and they get outside of the pocket, you're just hoping that they make good decisions because so many things can happen that can go wrong when you throw it downfield like that. He got away with it there and in a big way.
They still need about the length of the football here, maybe a little less as they come up on second and inches. Off play action. Levine. He's going to take a shot for the end zone. Touchdown, Packers. Robert Foster, 26 yards. And the Packers are able to stretch that lead out further. Zuerlein good with a PAT. And it's now 21-0. Now after the touchdown, it's Zuerlein. He'll kick it away. This is fielded a couple yards deep. And a pretty good return here. He'll be stopped just shy. The 25 at the 24-yard line. At their own 24-yard line. The Lions offense ready to kick off their next drive. And some dangerous territory. You're already down 3 scores. A 3-and-out here or an inability to put any points up. This one might be over by half. And he lost the football. But I believe the Lion was there to recover it. Yes, they will indeed keep possession.
Wow, that ball gets knocked free, but a teammate comes along and scoops it up. It's almost like baseball. Guys at bat, people are in position. One guy doesn't get them home. The next guy comes through and picks him up.
And avoids the turnover. Here's a throw out wide complete to his running back right side. 11 yards there and a Lion first down.
When you run a screen pass really well, you got to like the look of it because so many parts come together to make it work well. The offensive linemen where they're faking people out, the back slipping out there, catching the football, then all of them going together as one unit downfield. A really nice pickup.
He'll get a nice chunk there on the first down run, and it's 2nd and 4.
A 6-yard pickup brings up 2nd and 4.
And this should be the final play before the quarter ends. 21-0 our score after 1. On second down, Noble. Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll leave him with a 3rd and 3.
Some of these play calls, I think they're a little conservative, but you know me, because it's easy to sit up in this booth, right, and make all the calls and think I'm going to be correct. But I would like to see them open things up, because otherwise this defense is going to gang up on the run and shut them down.
Looking to throw. Kendall. return this one just shy of midfield to the 49. So that is 3 interceptions now in this first half, and you hate to ask the question, but let's be honest, we're thinking about it. Do you need to go in a different direction next year?
Potentially. We know that he's probably not going to be on the Pro Bowl ballot. That's not really his stature here, but he has been their starting quarterback for this game. So they've got to weigh things about who's behind him. Do they think he can snap it back into gear? Maybe change up the play calling to help him out a little bit.
On second down, here's a run with Mack. And he's going to get this one down to the 45. It'll be a gain of 5, but still about 3 yards shy of the first down marker, and now it's third down. Operating from the gun, Levine, and that is incomplete.
Not only was the call spot on, how about the execution of that defense right there? The zone was absolutely locked up tight. He was trying to force it in there on third down.
But if there's a time to force it, he felt like he needed to make a play, right?
Yeah, exactly right. Third down, you got to try and find something. There's nothing available there for him.
At their own 20-yard line.
The Lions offense ready to kick off their next drive. And we don't want to call this desperation time, especially in the second quarter, but you're down.
Want to.
No, but let me finish.
Okay, my bad.
You're down 3 scores already. You've done nothing offensively, nothing on the scoreboard. That's not a good combination.
I think you just called it desperation time. I think you did. But let's face it, you mentioned this to me in a break earlier in the game. The energy level hasn't been there right from the start. We've noticed that. They've got to find a way to get on their toes and start punching instead of retreating, to use a boxing analogy.
They'll only get a couple up to about the 30. The good run on first down followed up by a not-so-good run on second down.
Now let's find out if they're going to stick with the run here on third down. A lot of people would love to see some play action here. I say go with your best running play over your best blocker.
On third and short, they'll try and pick it up through the air. And this is caught by Watkins. And he's out of bounds, able to take this one up to the 35. First catch of the new season for him, and he picks up the first. Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10. They'll try the left side. Noble. And unable to get downhill there as he'll take this up to about the 37. Just a yard on the first down carry, so it's 2nd and 9.
Absolutely love the effort there. The ability to flow from his inside spot and stop that one at the line of scrimmage. Nice linebacker play.
Looking to throw on second down. Kendall. That's to his running back, Kerryon Johnson. And that play is blown up, losing yardage back at the 35. Call it a loss of 2 on the play. And it'll be 3rd and 10.
Set. 60 outlaw. Hey, tight end's right. Watch tight end. 3 out. Go.
Back to throw. Kendall. And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. He's picked off at his own 46. And they'll take over inside the 45 at the 44-yard line. We haven't even escaped the first half, and he's already thrown 4 picks.
And Brandon, back in the good old days, probably back before you were born, if your starter threw 4 in the first half, he might throw 8 or more for the game because they weren't going to pull him out. But nowadays, the patience level isn't quite there. He's going to have to make some real adjustments, or the backup may see some time.
13 yards, first down, Packers. We remind you that coming up in 2 minutes, we'll again head down to visit with Jonathan Coachman in Orlando, back for another year. He'll have scores from around the NFL here on this opening weekend. Now a run on first down is not going to get off the ground as they will get him behind the line of scrimmage for a loss of 3.
I know when I was a kid, I always got real excited when I saw those lateral-type runs. But the best backs that made it happen, they put a foot in the ground and just go.
And this is caught. And he doesn't quite make it, taking it within an eyelash. Dropped at the 1. 1. A gain of 32 that time.
34 yards.
A chance to really cap off a big first half here as they come up on 1st and goal. And they'll bring him down after just a short pickup. Only a yard that time, 2nd and goal.
That run didn't get very far, and I think when you're looking at his dimensions, he's a little bit on the smaller side. He's counting on the big guys up front to escort him in, and they couldn't create any kind of space for him, could they?
Yeah, didn't get the push they needed. And he's going to get hit at the line of scrimmage and driven backwards. Call it no gain on the keeper, and it's going to bring up a 3rd down.
I know they didn't get it, but I kind of like the call. 2nd and inches, go right to the quarterback sneak. Normally, that should be executed better, shouldn't it?
I'm going to disagree with you. I don't like the call. If you
don't like that?
That's just because they didn't get it, though.
Oh, okay.
Hindsight's 20/20.
20/20 and never defeated.
Let's go. 18 Gator. Right there in the middle. 55. I'm on. Check. Pressure. Beat them.
On 3rd down, Taliber. And he'll take this one in for a Packer touchdown. A great effort there with his first career touchdown in his first career game. And the Packers are able to stretch that lead out further. Zuerlein now for the PAT. It's good, and they stretch their lead to 28-0 now. Now after the touchdown, it's Zuerlein. He'll kick it away. This is taken about 7 yards deep. And the decision to bring it out, a good one, as he's up a yard or two shy of the 30. The Lions offense ready to kick off their next drive. Typically down to the first half, I might say, oh, you at least need a field goal out of this drive, but they're down to the point where they need a touchdown, don't they?
Yeah, normally, you know me. I mean, you've been around me for a while now, right?
Unfortunately.
I'm sorry about that. But normally, I'm the one preaching patience.
Yeah.
You know, take your time. First half, you still got a chance. I think they're out of patience here. This has to be a drive that gets a touchdown. So if you're the play caller, you're going to that portion of the sheet that says big-time plays, specials, anything you can use to get yourself back into it.
We'll see if week 1 fatigue becomes any kind of a factor as we are back underway in the second half. This fielded at the 2. And not a particularly good return here as they'll be forced to start at the 12-yard line. About set to get this drive started, the Green Bay offense at the line. They had a big first half. Now they have a chance to add to that lead here in the opening possession of the second half.
And everyone always asks about halftime adjustments, kind of the key phrase. What did you do at halftime? Well, the way they ran offense in the first half, I think they were very calm, congratulatory, but also what they were saying is don't expect them to be the same on defense. They'll be the ones making the adjustments. Let's see what they do, and we'll attack accordingly.
And we'll see how they attack here. And they see right through that defensively as he'll be hit and taken down to the backfield.
Brings up 3rd down and 11.
For the Lions, an extra DB in the game now here on 3rd down.
Two draw corkers. Here we go. What?
From the gun, Levine. Flush to his right. And he goes down. It's a sack. They get him back at his own 3-yard line. Trey Flowers, the former Arkansas Razorback, in there to get him. So a short drop, but he's able to get it out, and this is a good kick. And taken right at the 35. A good return there, 17 yards. And the Lions will have excellent field position here as they take over 1st and 10.
Ready. 30 base. Exit.
They'll run on first down. Noble. And they're going to get him behind the line yet again as his nightmare afternoon continues. They'll wind up losing 3 yards here. And that'll make this a 2nd and 13. 2nd and 13. And that's off the mark, incomplete. Blake Martinez, the linebacker, was there in coverage to disrupt.
This has been a really nice day for the defense. They've made it so difficult to find open receivers because they're able to squeeze the passing lanes down. A lot of what they're doing is communicating. Receivers in one area, receivers in another area. They're almost what they call passing them off from one defender to the next, even in zone defenses, and making it
under a heavy rush, and down he goes.
It's been a tough one all game long for this offensive line. They're already down big, and now you know they're just going to come after the quarterback in a big way, don't you?
Yeah, they just can't get out of their own way right now. It's created an avalanche, and an avalanche is coming right on top of them. That one sails out of bounds. The side judge will walk it off, and he says it went out of bounds at the 9-yard line. Nice punt. So they'll play the field position game here as a very nice punt is going to pin them back.
Yeah, it's almost like watching a game of tennis, or do you prefer ping pong? You know, back and forth like that? That definitely was excellent, wasn't it?
He'll have a first down and more past the 20 as he'll take this up to the 22-yard line. 13 yards, first down, Packers.
Sometimes it's hard to believe, but there are times this game is about patience, isn't it? Has had the game he expected, but that run there, that may get him done.
I was just going to say, maybe that gives him a little juice, because you're right, he struggled, especially in that first half.
Yeah, and I know the great ones always think to themselves, just hang in there. I'm just one big carry away from busting this open. That's a good start for him.
It's just me and you. It's just me and you. Recon, 132 fighter. Hit it.
To throw on second down. Levine. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down.
I like how they've started the third quarter here. They force a punt on the first drive, and after this sack, it looks like they'll be forcing another one as well.
Absolutely. Maybe got their second win coming out of the locker room. He's letting this one go for Fuller. He's got a man complete. And he's going to take it in. Touchdown, Packers. Will Fuller, 87 yards, as his guys continue to pour it on. A PAT would extend their lead, but there is a flag on the play, so they elect to decline it.
And why not? Just go ahead and let the play stand, and they'll take that.
Now after the touchdown, it's Zuerlein. He'll kick it away.
And that drives coaches insane, doesn't it? When they see that happen, it just doesn't feel right, does it? Plus, you're giving up yardage.
They've got good starting field position as they come up here 1st and 10 at their own 42. And to give this time to the tailback. And he'll be taken down, but not before he works it past the 50. He'll get a dozen there, and the Lions have a first down.
First downs have not come easy, and neither have runs like this throughout this game.
Absolutely not. He finally felt like, whoa, a sigh of relief. We got something going in the running game. And he was able to shed the tackle, but the reserves come in for the stop. Mike Ford in on the tackle.
Something to watch here in week 1 of the season, tackling. Because you and I both know that in the preseason, a lot of these guys don't play a whole lot. Plus, the intensity and the speed really ratchets up on opening week.
Hey, let's get that ball, D. Let's get that ball.
Looking to throw on second down. Kendall. And he's going to be hit and taken down. Back right around the 48-yard line. Rashawn Gary. Credit him with a sack as he buries him for a loss of 10. And it looks like we've got a dime set here defensively. 6 DBs in the game. Operating from the gun. Kendall. And a pressure gets to him again. A'Shawn Robinson. Too much to handle that time. Gets the sack.
Brandon, I think you understand the type of afternoon this offensive line is having. It is a long one for them. Long for you to spend it with me. Long for them trying to block those guys. They've given up a whole lot of sacks, and the speed and quickness of that defensive line is eating them alive.
The Packer offense ready to get their next drive underway. This is sort of what you would call a put-away drive, isn't it? They score here, especially a touchdown. It's almost out of reach.
It certainly feels that way, and I think that they're going to call their plays accordingly, because what you really want to do, even though you know the scoreboard is still up there and the game's going to go on, I feel like you can take the spirit away from another team, that their drive and will to come back and win can be taken with another score right here.
Still third quarter, but you just get that feel.
Yeah, they're teetering right there on the brink, aren't they?
Line of scrimmage, the 31 now on 1st and 10. Now this time he'll look to throw. And the Lions pressure too strong. Down he goes. Trey Flowers able to get in there for his second sack of the afternoon.
That's his second sack of the game, and the best defensive ends, they do their homework as much as offensive guys do. They know how to beat the offensive lineman across from them, what moves they need to do to set them up. This guy's been pretty good at it all game long.
It'll be a gain of about 5, but they're left with a third and still about 12 to go.
Third quarter and you've got the lead. You're not ready to go into that 4-minute offense to close the game out, but a running game can really benefit your team right now.
Pilot 64, weak. Mike 51, Mike 51. I'm coming up. Let's go.
To throw on third down. Levine. He'll let it go deep for Foster. And that is incomplete. Here's Pat O'Donnell now as he's on to punt for Green Bay. This is taken at the 15. We are through 3 quarters here on NFL Kickoff Weekend. We'll return with more after this. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. The Lions offense ready to kick off their next drive. And let's face it, this drive is not going to have any bearing on this game, but it's kind of important for one reason, isn't it?
It certainly is. You got to get points. And okay, all right, I'm being facetious here, but you get points, you feel a little bit better about yourself as you move on to the next one.
They only got a yard out of that last completion, and that makes this 2nd and 9. And the reinforcements come in as they're going to stop him behind the line. That's a big loss of 3, and it brings up 3rd down.
I don't think there's any doubt that if it's me, I'd be really cautious about continuing to call this play, because you got to know, defenders, if they get a free shot at the QB, they want to take it, and they want to take it big.
And they got it there on the option play for a loss. On 3rd down, Kendall. Catch is made by Hockenson, the tight end. And this play comes to a halt at the 33, and obviously that's well short of the 1st down. One thing I think that's safe to say defensively, the tackling's been really good.
And because of that, it's been very, very hard for them to move the ball, because you're not getting the benefits of run after catch. They're tackling them almost on the spot. That means you have to run extra plays, harder to move it.
Barry on to punt as he gets this one away. And no one there to stop it. Hits at the 8, but it carries all the way into the end zone for a touchback. About set to get this drive started. The Green Bay offense at the line. And this game comfortably in hand. The scoreboard speaks for itself, but you still got your starting quarterback out there. When do you go to the backup? Let him get some time.
And that's one of the great questions in the NFL, Brandon, because I'm just going to tell you, in the 2015 season, I commentated on 3 games in a row that were blowouts. And in none of them did the starting quarterback ever come out of the game for the team that had a big lead. And in each instance, I asked the coaches later on, why didn't you do that? And they all looked at me and said, just don't really do that in the NFL. You know, these guys play, and we just play them all the way through. Now, in certain situations, they will take them out, but for the most part, they're not as worried and concerned about getting them out of the game. And that's always puzzled me a little bit.
4 yards the pickup, 1st down. Line of scrimmage, the 31 now on 1st and 10.
Hey, let's go. It's time to come crash. They not ready for the
From the gun, Levine. It's complete to Fuller. A gain of 6 there on 1st.
Nothing fancy on 1st down, but a very consistent type of a play. Hit that slant. A lot of people call it an extension of the running game, and it can be if that pass is completed, because you hit a guy on the run like that, he often can go for big yardage.
Sets him up nicely for 2nd down, staying ahead of schedule. 6 yards was the pickup on the last completion, so here's 2nd and 4.
Check 50. Check 50. Kill.
And he'll give it here to his running back. And he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair. It'll wind up being a loss of 2. And that's going to bring up a 3rd down.
Let's get
Down. 18 Gator.
check 55 to Mike.
Hey, Echo.
Mike, 55. Check 55.
Get it.
Operating from the gun. Levine eluding the pressure right. And he can't find a receiver, and he's brought down. Romeo Okwara in there to get him for a loss of 9 yards, and that also leads to 4th down. Here's Pat O'Donnell now. He's been terrific so far. Taking it about the 16. Give him 11 yards that time on the return, and the Lions will take over.
Let's go.
The Lions offense ready to kick off their next drive. These guys had to punt last time. It has not been a very fruitful game offensively thus far. They haven't even made a trip to the red zone.
And I know that everyone's going crazy on that sideline because that drives you berserk to come off the field, not really move the ball well. As you said, not even get to the red zone, let alone, not even put points on the board. They've got to just take a deep breath, relax, try and figure out what is working, and call more of that.
They'll keep it on the ground. Noble. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. They'll wind up losing 3. And now it's 3rd down. The Lions on 3rd down. A pretty anemic, a very anemic 1 for 9 thus far. This is 3rd and 11. Looking to throw. Kendall. And now here is another interception. Picked off by Reggie Ragland. There he goes right side. And they will score. It's a Packer touchdown. That's the story of the game. They've been suffocating all game long on defense. They were suffocating there again in a big way.
And they've done it not just by out-athleting them, which is often the case, but by being able to adjust to anything they tried to throw at them and beating them to the punch each and every time. This was a defense that was well prepared.
So they'll get another shot on offense following that pick 6, and now the kick is away.
The Lions take over 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line.
On the double.
The Lions offense ready to kick off their next drive.
Ready.
On 1st down, Noble. He'll be dropped after a gain of about 6 across the 30 to the 31. So the Lions in possession of the football as we welcome you back. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. And he went nowhere. He'll lose yardage back to the 29. Another example of just a dominant performance by this defense.
Yeah, you hear all the time about teams that try to steal signals from the other side and try and learn their signs and their tendencies. It's almost like they got the answers to the exam the night before and were well prepared for this final.
And this is caught by Watkins. And he's got this almost to the 40 before going out. 11 yards there and a Lion 1st down. This quarterback now just 7 of 15 so far, but he's got a 1st and 10. Now a handoff here to his running back. Rashaan Evans out of Alabama had the tackle defensively.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, this big defensive lineman will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
They'll keep it on the ground. Noble. A 1-yard gain there following the 3-yard pickup on first down.
Go now. And Tucson.
One final shot. They'll look to throw. He's going to let it fly. And my goodness, another